HasanAbi corporate. I don't even know what that is. Let's make an assessment. First and foremost, okay, we're going to look at the people. One debate came out looking better than before. No change from before. Came out looking worse than before. Doug Burgum. So right off the bat, let's put Doug Burgum. Which one was Doug Burgum? Was it this one? Was it this one? Which one was Doug Burgum? Oh, yeah, it's this one right here. So Doug Burgum is in the Doug Burgum category, okay? Because Doug Burgum is a unique human being. He kept talking about how he's from a small town. He's from a small town of 300 people. It's like, we get it, bro. You love incest, okay? We get it. We understand it. Your cousins f***ed each other and whatever. It doesn't matter. You are literally a fucking billionaire. Nobody knows you. You only got to this fucking place as the governor of North Dakota, a state where there are more cows than people. You're not winning anything. You're not moving the needle. Nothing is happening to you, okay? Let's talk about who came out looking worse than before. Christopher Jebediah Christie. I know it sounds unlikely. I know it sounds strange. You might say, Hasan, Chris Christie has literally hit every fucking low note possible. He is the least likable candidate. And yet, for some reason, Chris Christie, in my opinion, okay, and I'm analyzing this not from my perspective, but analyzing it from the perspective of the Republican Party voter base that is watching tonight, he looked worse than he was before. He was fatigued by the end of it. He got rolled multiple times. He got rolled by fucking Vivek. He was getting rolled around. Do you understand? They were rolling him around. They were fucking wheeling and dealing. The audience booed him. They drowned him out. Okay? Were we watching the same debate? I don't know. Maybe we were watching a different debate. He did everything right, and they indicted him. Okay? He tried hard, but let me tell you, it's very obvious that there is no avenue for someone like Christopher Christie to run on a straight anti-Trump ticket. Now, speaking of the anti-Trump ticket, here is another person who also came out looking worse than before. Asa Hutchinson. Nobody knew who the he was. Let's be real. Former governor of Arkansas. Nobody cares. Why does he look that way? That's my main question, okay? Why? How are you standing right there on the podium next to Michael Pence and you look more demon-like? Mike Pence literally looks like the human version of Asa Hutchinson. Okay? Straight up, you put them side by side. Asa Hutchinson is the first alien model that they sent to Earth. And then they were like, oh, we fucked this up. We have to bring in a new, more humanoid-looking human model. And then they sent Mike Pence. Asa Hutchinson, really awful originally, really awful overall. Not a strong contender. Absolutely. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put Asa in the Doug Burgum category because, goddamn, that's just a placeholder for the absolute worst. I think he did Doug Burgum bad, okay? At least Chris Christie had some high moments. Asa Hutchinson is only there to be like, I'm the anti-Trump guy. And it's like, there is no appetite for that. There is literally no appetite for that. I am now officially deranking Asa Hutchinson to the Doug Burgum category. What's up with your eyes, man? Why the f*** do they look that way? What's happening? At least Doug Burgum. I'm putting Doug Burgum on that came out looking worse than before, okay? Things are happening. Things are happening in the tier list ranking because I think that Asa Hutchinson just looks so gross, okay? He looks gross. He's constantly fucking whining about Donald Trump. Who the f*** would ever vote for that, okay? Anyway, Doug Burgum, on the other hand, out of the Doug Burgum category, came out looking worse than before. Actually, there is no way to make him look worse than before because nobody knew who the f*** he was. Now, I'm going to put Doug Burgum back in there. That's his category. Okay, let's be real. All right. No change from before. Or came out looking worse than before. No change from before. As far as that category goes, I don't really know if anybody got like no change from before. I guess if we're looking at their poll numbers, pretty much all of them, because all their poll numbers don't even amount to like Vivek Ramaswamy when combined together. That's what I think. Came out looking better than before, as a matter of fact, is probably, here. I'll say, here, there you go. The biggest fucking loser. Oh my God, Tim Scott. Absolutely awful, okay? Was he there? Was he at the debate? What did he say? He said nothing new. Everything he said so far, was pretty much the exact same things he's ever said. He's like, oh yeah, there's a country of dreams. You know, I'm here. It's like, this is the first time, at least in my adult life, watching the Republican primaries, where the black candidate is the least interesting candidate they've ever had. The Republican primaries are actually very interesting. They're usually more diverse than the Democratic primaries. A lot of people don't realize this because we're so conditioned into like looking at Republicans as being racist. They always have a bunch of the craziest black Republicans you've ever seen, whether it be Herman Cain, rest in piss, whether it be the fucking, what was it, the pizza guy, whether it be Ben Carson. Was Herman Cain the pizza guy? No, there was another one. Herman Cain was the pizza guy. Okay. There's always really interesting characters, like interesting, fascinating characters. Tim Scott surprisingly is just so awful. Larry Elder would have been more interesting. At least he could have, like, I don't know, advocated to abolish all matter of civil rights, or like, I don't know, anti-miscegenation, like something like that. You know what I mean? Larry Elder would have been popping off with some like real deep cuts about how anti-black a black man can get on stage. You know what I mean? And I know this because I've debated him. Okay, I know I've debated Larry Elder. He would have been more interesting. So definitely a missed opportunity. Big L for the Republican Party in general. So Tim Scott, no change from before because I think people will forget that he even participated. Ben Carson was the most boring candidate. Sorry, I disagree. Are you kidding me? He literally said slaves came to America on their own volition. Ben Carson successfully facilitated a separation of conjoined twins at the brain. This man, who cannot craft three fucking sentences together, has been able to accomplish incredibly impressive feats in the field of surgery. I disagree with you. You are so wrong. Ben Carson also is responsible for that pileup that happened in one of the Republican primaries because he's so fucking stupid. He just like stood in place, and then all the other candidates right behind him were like, "Come on, man, walk up." Ben Carson was awesome. He was objectively an interesting person just by being Ben Carson. Oh, yeah, that's true. Ben Carson did say, he didn't say that during his candidacy. He said that while he was the HUD secretary. True. Can't believe I forgot about that. He was the HUD secretary. Okay. God, America is so weird. So, anyway, Tim Scott would have been more interesting if he talked about like how he's a virgin and how every American should be a virgin. Okay? So, no change from before has to go to like a dude who was just like right there, but he kind of wasn't there. Now let's get to the real interesting people. Okay, so obviously the number 2 spot is fought for by Ronald McDonald DeSantis. Ronald McDonald DeSantis had some of his high notes that were, advocated for by his dick riders in the crowd. Don't know how well that looks. I do feel like he maybe decided, oh my God, my poll numbers look awful every single time I'm in front of the camera, every single time I speak, every single time I open my mouth. So I probably shouldn't do that. I should just kind of like be background noise, and then every couple of moments I'll chime in with a punchy take. I'll have a little punchy moment here and there, and hopefully no one will look at my fucking bobblehead who keeps going every single moment that I open my goddamn mouth. I mean, look, he had an incredibly memorable moment. I met a woman whose idiot son took one perk and died. That was really fun. This is a fucked up take, but that was really funny. The other, look, but here, the reason why I'm showing you this, okay? The reason why I'm showing you this is because this is a still image. It's the first one that came up on my fucking timeline. That's why I pulled this. This is a still image. Even in this fucking still image, you could tell he's bobbling. He is a bobblehead. Why are you bobbling? That's what he's saying every time he opens his fucking mouth. Okay, he's like, I met a woman who was a multiple-time abortion survivor. I'm like, what are you saying? What was that line? He talked about how there was a fucking baby that was scraped off of a pan or something. What was that? I mean, it was just the fucking most insane.
I will not let you down. And I will not let you down.
Dude, what is happening? Why is he white knuckling through just being a human? What's going on? He's just wobbling so much, dude. He is wobbling so fucking much. He knows a lot of people, okay? He's met people that have been, that have survived numerous abortions, multiple abortions. Don't know how they did that, by the way. Pretty crazy. Congratulations to that lady, you know what I mean, who survived multiple abortions. Again, They were trying to scrape her off a pan or something. Penny in a pan. Penny the pan baby saved by her grandma. That's great. He's met some very fortunate people and some very unfortunate people. He's met someone who took one perk 30 and died. He met a mom who survived abortions. Okay, so he was not great. Not a great showing for the supposed contender for the Trump slot. Okay, the guy who's supposed to like unseat Donald Trump. Absolutely not. Okay, let's be real. Just awful. Just awful, piss poor performance. Don't like that at all. I think overall, Ron DeSantis had some high notes. I think he was just like cutting commentary. I think he was cutting ads for himself to show his own audience how good he did. Overall, I think that Ron DeSantis probably came out looking worse than before. I do not believe that he came out super strong. Wait, let's look at this interview. Let's see what he thinks about his own performance.
Choice over the next 18 months, we can reverse the decline. We can restore America. I think it's similar to the late 1970s when Jimmy Carter was president. A lot of people said it was an age of limits. America wasn't going to be able to be great again, and Ronald Reagan had a different idea. So that's just, I think, what the average American is seeing in their own daily lives.
He's still bobbling.
In some respects, we can point out all the.
He can't stop bobbling. Look at that head. Stop bobbling your fucking head, man. He's like one of those things you buy at the gas station, you put it on the car, and it's just like bobbling back and forth.
For the U.S.
Okay, so that was a big part of your theme tonight. This is Florida. 2018, you had a pretty close race. I was down in Florida covering that race, as you know.
Okay, it's boring. Don't care about this. All right. I would say for Ron DeStinky, let's keep it $1.50. Okay, let's keep it a perk 30. Let's keep it $1.50. Don't know if he had no change from before or came out looking worse than before. Don't think he looked better, though, because if you're number 2 in the slot, if you're not Donald Trump, you're supposed to be the leading guy. They didn't even attack him. That's how fucking irrelevant he was. No one even, came for him. I don't know what that was. So I'll put him at no change, which is not putting him in a good position overall. Because, let's get into Nikki motherfucking, I'm actually not for America, but I am an Indian British candidate in the UK. I'm a Tory, Nikki Haley. What the fuck was happening? Nikki Haley is she understands the field. She understands what the general population wants, okay? You can tell. You can tell that she has decent political instincts, except her delivery is fucking awful. With one notable exception. I'm going to get to that in a second. She did dagger Vivek a little bit. I'll say it like this. What do I mean? Nikki Haley knows that the abortion conversation is a losing one for the Republican Party. She knows it. She's right. But she can't say it like that. So she has to be like, actually, we just don't have senators, which is such a Democratic Party approach to an issue. Oh, you guys want something good, right? You guys want this thing? Well, sorry, we can't give that to you. No Republican has ever ran on that. Okay? Only Democrats run on condescendingly telling their fucking voters that you just can't get nice things. Oh, what do you want, a pony? Oh, you want free health care? What's next? You want a fucking unicorn? Shut up, you fucking poor bitch. You're going to vote for me and you're going to fucking like it because the other side are a bunch of fucking psychopaths. That's the Democratic Party's strategy. Okay? Nikki Haley, for some weird reason, is running with that strategy. I don't know who the fuck it's for. Absolutely zero Republicans are going to look at that and go, yeah, I'm voting for that person who's telling me I can't have all my treats. Okay? You're supposed to say, I'm going to kill every Democrat that tries to take your guns away. You're supposed to say, I'm going to kill every Mexican that crosses the border. When those people next to you are promising that kind of shit, you can't turn around and be like, we can't, the abortion, we just don't have senators. Really gross, really odd, very weird. I don't know why she said that. But on the other hand, she did have a very good, notable moment in the debate where she absolutely fucking daggered Vivek Ramaswamy. That was a good moment. That'll probably be reminded. Vivek Ramaswamy, with a couple exceptions, actually performed really well. Let's look at the total candidate speaking time real quick. Of course, Pence fucking talked non-goddamn stop. Chris Christie talked a lot too, except in the first half, Chris Christie was powerful. Okay, he had a couple good lines. He called Vivek Ramaswamy ChatGPT. He actually called out Vivek Ramaswamy for literally carbon copying Barack Obama's "I'm a skinny guy with a weird name" line verbatim. Not entirely certain if the Republican audience is receptive to that kind of thing. I don't think they give a fuck because that would mean that they are there. That would mean that they care about Obama beyond being like the spawn of Satan and a Muslim man or something, or also a gay man at the same time. I don't think the Republicans care about that. I don't think the Republicans remember that. They're too stupid to understand that. But having said that, that was a powerful line from Chris Christie when he said, "You're ChatGPT." He couldn't keep that energy, though. He got fucking bouldered by everybody else. They yelled at him a lot. And you could tell that he lost the war of attrition. Okay? He needs to put more work into cardio. If Lizzo can do fucking full splits while playing the flute and also firing dancers that are fatter than her, Chris Christie should be able to keep up for a fucking 2-hour debate. Okay? I'm sorry. I have no problem with being rotund. I love my big boys. But if you're out there to perform, you have to fucking perform. Okay? You have to perform. What the fuck are you doing? I put my name, I stake my reputation on big boys. I said, Chris Christie, don't fucking fail me. And you failed me, Christopher. What the fuck is wrong with you? What is absolutely fucking wrong with you? You couldn't just keep it up for like the entire duration. You immediately fucking caved. It was awful. War of Nutrition, Keck W. Anyway, really fucked up. Let's get back to Nikki Haley, though. Like I said, good moments, bad moments. Nikki Haley, weird Margaret Thatcher line. I don't even know what the entire crowd was actually clapping for at that point. I don't know what the hell they were doing. Did anyone have that Nikki Haley line against Vivek? 90s disaster movie president. Here's the Vivek clip Vivek stole from Obama.
So first, let me just address a question that is on everybody's mind at home tonight. Who the heck is this skinny guy with a funny last name, and what the heck is he doing in the middle of this debate stage? I'll tell you, I'm not a politician.
Of a mill worker's son who dares to defy the odds. The hope of a skinny kid with a funny name who believes that America has a place for him too.
Republicans are not going to know that. They're not going to remember that. I'm just going to say, I feel like they'll probably run this though on. They'll run this on Fox News a little bit. They'll definitely run this all over CNN. That'll hurt Vivek a little bit.
Need to know the difference between right and wrong. They need to know the difference between good and evil. Right. When you look at the situation with Russia and Ukraine, here you have a pro-American country that was invaded by a thug. So when you want to talk about what has been given to Ukraine, less than 3.5% of our defense budget has been given to Ukraine. If you look at the percentages per GDP, 11 of the European countries have given more than the U.S.
This is such a fucking sexy way. As someone who's just in it and loves the game of politics a little bit too much, from a very sociopathic perspective, this is the way you triangulate your message around Ukraine. Europe is not paying for it. That's what Trump did with NATO. I'm sorry. That's a sexy-ass fucking line right there. Congratulations to Nikki Haley for having a pretty decent way to approach the Ukrainian subject while simultaneously saying Americans are spending too much money on Ukraine. Europe needs to spend more to defend Ukraine because, Russia is bad and we shouldn't be giving more money to Ukraine. That's a good take. Ron said that too, though. I know. But she said it better. Anyway, yes, that is a smart way to triangulate on Ukraine, okay? Now, of course, does that mean anything? It's not the point she's making, but the fact that only 3% just goes to show how absolutely batshit the insane the U.S. defense budget is.
But what's really important is go back to when China and Russia held hands.
Wait, is she saying that? Wait, what? Did I misunderstand? She said the opposite? Oh, that's so bad. Okay, well, I didn't understand what she was saying. That is so stupid. If you advocate to give more money to Ukraine on the Republican stage, they are not going to remember that fondly.
Good and evil. When you look at, so when you want to talk about what
I'm wrong. I thought Ron DeSantis, anybody in my opinion, on the Republican stage tonight that says we need to give more money to Ukraine, that's a losing issue. Donald Trump is going to fucking literally put his nuts all over your face. Ron is the one who said make Europe pay.
Given to Ukraine, less than 3.5% of our defense budget has been given to Ukraine. If you look at the percentages per GDP, 11 of the European countries have given more than the U.S. But what's really important is go back to when China and Russia held hands, shook hands before the Olympics, and named themselves.
She said something correct, so that's the wrong thing to say. Yes. Hello? We're watching the Republican primaries. Did you not watch me almost fucking die and have my soul sucked out of me when they were talking about the Department of Education? Yeah, no, literally. Are you fucking stupid? Yeah, it's the Republican primaries. It is basically opposite day. Guys, why do I spend so much time looking at Republicans if we can't comprehend that the average Republican literally looks at good things and goes, no, that's bad. I don't want that, actually. And looks at bad things and goes, yes, I want more of that, please. It's just like, that's not how things work. These guys are literally sharing out 15-minute cities. They're like, oh, dude, walkable cities? No thanks, that's communism. Okay? It's fucking awful. As far as their take, and as far as the crowd cheering on certain issues and booing on others, I am not going to make any assessments off of that because the crowd was on some other shit. They were all over the place. They would clap and then boo on the same issue, on the exact same side of the same issue in succession. Like literally in a row. There were moments where the crowd would cheer for Donald Trump, Vivek Ramaswamy defending Donald Trump and saying like Donald Trump deserves to be the president, whatever the Vivek was saying. And then they would like literally cheer Mike Pence for saying, I took an oath to this country on the Ronald Reagan Bible, and I put that oath above Donald Trump. And they'd be like, thank you, sir. And then literally right after that, they would start booing him because they'd be like, wait, hold on. Actually, no, we don't like that. It was insane. The crowd was fucking crazy. At a certain point, I was like, what are they doing? Is this just like, are they playing noises? Are they playing crowd noises? What the fuck's going on? It was legitimately the most unhinged crowd I have ever seen. Okay? Very odd, very shocking, very confusing. Don't know what the they were on about. We are Wisconsin. We don't know what we want. Yeah. Nobody makes me madder when libs come into the chat and say, I don't understand why anybody likes the Republicans. We understand why. Yeah, I mean, I get it. They're entertaining, and also there's a massive infrastructure that's just like purposely breaking their brains. I guess it makes sense if you think that half of the Trump, half the crowd was like real Republican voters, you know, Trump picketers, and then half were like normal Republicans, as in like lobbyists. Anyway, let's keep watching Nikki Haley.
A win for Russia is a win for China. We have to know that. Ukraine is the first line of defense for us.
This line is good. In a way to like justify spending any money in Ukraine, though. We have to put up a strong opposition to Russia, because like she's responding to Vivek, who was like, who was on some other where he was like, yeah, Russia is actually our ally. I don't know what happened. Vivek, I feel like triangulates his messaging fairly well. I don't know why the he thinks he has like Trump's riz. Like Trump can get away with saying he loves Vladimir Putin and he wants to kiss and hug him and shit. You can't. You're Vivek Ramaswamy. You're not Donald Trump. Anyway, I said this even before the debate. I told you guys, Vivek's foreign policy on like Russia and China is so psychotic. It's just so nutty. It's unique. It's entertaining. But like the Republican Party is going to look at that and go, wait a minute, this brown man is telling me that like, you know, the communist Russia is my friend all of a sudden. And then they want to let China take over Taiwan. Okay, sure. I don't give a fuck about Taiwan, but like, isn't that what China wants? But I also don't want what China wants. You know, it's just all over the place. I bet if Vivek went to any small town in America, they 100% think he's Iranian or something. Americans can't tell apart brown people unless they speak Spanish. Yeah. So Vivek is going for the 4chan foreign policy vote. He's going for the 4chan vote on that one. I don't know why. Biden clipped Nikki Haley. Wait, no, not my queen. What did he do?
You have Ron DeSantis, you've got Tim Scott, you've got Mike Pence. They all voted to raise the debt, and Donald Trump added $8 trillion to our debt. And our kids are never going to forgive us for this.
I hate this. I hate this because like what? What are you talking about? You're anti-debt? Like you're a Democrat, dumb. I hate that Joe Biden is saying like, oh, that's a big own. God, liberals are so fucking annoying. Man, what are we doing here? This is like as stupid as like fucking Nancy Pelosi pushing PAYGO. What are you doing? We're Democrats. We should be spending, right? That's what you're supposed to do, idiot. Nobody cares about the debt. What the I think it's more so defanging one of the key GOP talking points. Yeah, but the key GOP talking points are fucking bullshit. Defang it better. A lot of the debt that they're talking about with respect to Donald Trump also, ironically, doesn't even come from COVID spending. It comes from fucking tax cuts for the wealthy. A real quick counter for her on that stage would have been, yeah, Donald Trump added debt, except no one can say it. No one can openly say that. On the Republican Party, at least, especially, no one's going to fucking turn around and go, yeah, where did that debt come from? Where, not the debt, but like, where is the deficit coming from? Where is it coming from? A very, very important domestic policy that Republicans will always ride for. Anyway, let's continue with Nikki Haley's take here.
The problem that Vivek doesn't understand is he wants to hand Ukraine to Russia. He wants to let China eat Taiwan. He wants to go and stop funding Israel. You don't do that to friends. What you do instead is you have the backs of your friends. Ukraine is the front line of defense. Putin has said once Russia takes Ukraine, Poland and the Baltics are next. That's a world war. We're trying to prevent war. Look at what Putin did today. He killed Prigozhin. When I was at the UN, the Russian ambassador suddenly died. This guy is a murderer, and you are choosing a murderer over a pro-American country.
Yeah, she fucking ate his ass, dude. She cooked him.
Mr. Ramaswamy, you have 30 seconds. Mr. DeSantis,
Nikki, I wish you well in your future career on the boards of Lockheed and Raytheon.
I'm not on
but
the
fact
boards
of the matter,
and Raytheon, and
Boeing came off of it, but you've been pushing this lie. You've been pushing this lie all week,
Nikki. You want
Nikki.
to go and defund Israel? You want to
okay, let me address that. I'm glad you brought that up.
You want to defund Israel? Dude, what is American politics is so insane, dude. Like, this is such a unique thing to talk about because it's like that's an own. Like, she's like, you want to defund Israel? Like, and the Republicans eat that shit up. They're like, I can't believe he wants to defund Israel. Like, why the if you live in Kentucky, okay, where you maybe don't have electricity all the time, why the absolute do you give a fuck about any other country? Okay, I'm not talking about Israel. Name another country. Name any country. Like, there is no way this works. Like, can you imagine? Take Israel out of the equation and say, I don't know, Norway, right? You want to defund Norway? Everyone would be like, what are you saying? What are you saying right now? You want to defund Estonia? How dare you? How dare you bring up defunding Estonia? Like, what the any country. And it's like, it works. It works. It is so, the propaganda is so thick. She's talking to the Christian Zionists. I know. All right, let's continue.
I'm going to address each of those right now. This is the false lies of a professional politician. There you have it.
Your watch,
so the reality
make America less safe. You have no foreign policy experience, and
Don't
it
you-
shows.
don't
You know what?
you-
There's foreign policy experience.
Okey, ver. Akşam yemeğini ver. Evet. Ver.
That you all have shows in the pointless wars we've gotten into. I have to address that. So our relationship with Israel will never be stronger than by the end of my first term.
I mean, that was like probably one of the greatest slam dunks, even though Hasan, we're never getting free healthcare. Bro, we're nearing a point where, like, if you advocate for free healthcare, like, the Republican Party is going to shoot you. Okay? I'm running on a campaign, guys, where if anybody wants free healthcare, that automatically means communism. That means you need to be killed because you're treasonous. And then the entire crowd is clapping at that. They're like, oh my God, such a brilliant take. Finally, somebody had to say it. Is Vivek Hindu? Yes, he is. Anyway, getting back to what we were talking about. Nikki Haley had some good moments. I think she came out looking better than before. I want to congratulate Nikki Haley from going up 3% in the polls to 3.5%. Technically, that is still coming out looking better than before. So congratulations to Nikki Haley. You will still not win the Republican primary. Okay? That's a 0.5% boost that she is going to see. Good girl, boss. You did it. Now, let's talk about people who actually did come out looking better than before. There were definitely big owns against Vivek, especially on his foreign policy. That was like unimaginable. Let's keep it $1.50. I think Vivek came out looking a lot better than he did before. He really dominated the conversation. I think he did well. I think there were definitely really bad moments, but he absolutely fucking ripped into Chris Christie. He ripped into Michael Pence. He ripped into a lot of people, and he did it while dominating the conversation and also defending Donald Trump. Because this debate was all about who can suck Trump's harder. Let's be real. Okay? And boy, was that sucked by Vivek Ramaswamy. Holy moly. My man literally just was like, I am going to willingly fall on a sword, sir, for Donald Trump to win the primaries, actually. I would say that Vivek Ramaswamy came out looking better than before. And also on top of that, I would go so far as to say he won the debate. He got the most out of the debate. One controversial take I will say, I will also make here, is that I think, you know who came out looking better than before? Not that it matters at all. Mike Pence. Mike Pence was so goddamn assertive throughout that entire process. Not that it matters. Chatters, do not mistake what I'm saying here. This does not matter at all. But it was shocking how much he talked. It was shocking how much he stood strong. He even got fucking applauses for saying, I'll put my hand on the Ronald Reagan Bible. It was odd. It was like a different person. Okay? And the other reason why he came out looking better than before is because anytime they wanted to glaze Donald Trump, well, Mike Pence is right there. He's the VP. They have to keep saying the former administration was the best administration of all time. Who's the representative on stage for that former administration? That's right, Michael Pence. So anytime they were glazing up Donald Trump, or at least Donald Trump's accomplishments, they were kind of glazing up Michael Pence a little bit. So remember that. Not that it matters, though, because obviously Trump supporters hate Mike Pence. They want him to die, and also he's not going to win. But overall, I do think that Mike Pence came out looking better than before. So that's my tier list here. This is what I think is what happened. Obviously, the person who truly won the debate is Donald Trump, even though Donald Trump would have won the debate extra hard if Donald Trump himself was there and he could rip into every single person. You forgot one? What is that? What is that thing?